wow. I mean, just wow. Nobody saw that result, did they? Everywhere I went, I always heard, well, Brad Rutter's going to win in 5 or 3. He'll sweep because he's always beaten Ken in the playoffs. He's always beaten him in a tournament. He beat him in the $1 Million Masters. Well, Ken wasn't in the $1 Million Masters, but you get my point. He beat him in the Ultimate Tournament. He beat him in the All-Star Games. He beat him in the Decades Tournament. And I always heard James might win. And full verification, I did have James in 5. So I admit I was wrong there. But nobody, I doubt anybody, had Ken Jennings in 4. Ken Jennings, after 15 years of not being able to win a big tournament or a big special game, won the Jeopardy Greatest of All Time special. He is now $1 million richer and is now the biggest money winner in game show history with over $5 million. That is an impressive feat. Now that's just the results. I'm going to talk more about how the tournament ended in a bit and how everybody else fared. But first, I just want to talk about the look of the Greatest of All Time tournament. It was beautiful. Absolutely breathtaking. The music, the graphics were spruced up. The set was amazing. I love the starry backdrop behind the contestants. It gave it more of a primetime feel, a tournament feel, as it were. And with everything, I do want them to reuse that and everything for when they do Tournament of Champions next time. And we're going to get another Tournament of Champions, I believe, in 2021. November 2021, excuse me. It just seemed like everybody there was there to have a good time and have fun, because I think everybody knows that this is probably Alex and Harry Friedman's last hurrah with Jeopardy. We don't know how much longer Alex has left on this earth. I hope it's 5-10 more years. I hope he beats the bastard known as cancer. But he's going to keep on fighting, and we all should as well. Alex was on point. Ken was on point. James was on point. Brad... Everything that could go wrong for Brad Rutter did go wrong for Brad Rutter. Daily doubles he had to make, he couldn't pull off. He was noticeably slower on the buzzer, and I think the reason was he was rusty. Because James was fresh, he had just come off the Tournament of Champions. Ken is fresh in trivia because he just came off doing Best Ever Trivia Show, and I think he's doing Masterminds right now for GSN. I do not know if they're taping right now, because we know it got a season 2. We know it's a spruced up Best Ever Trivia Show. So, do we know if Ken is back on the show? I don't know, but I'm assuming yes. Brad just seems like he was outgunned and outmatched by 2 people who were ready. Like, Brad, I don't know what trivia Brad has been doing, but clearly it wasn't enough, especially in the Jeopardy sense. Now, to Ken Jennings, he clearly had the quicker trigger finger and knew how to exploit James's strategy against him. Now, James's strategy was to clear all the big amounts first, then hunt for the daily double, go all in on it, and then just pick everything else off. Ken mirrored that strategy and did it to perfection. Especially in the last game, he hit the first 2 daily doubles, went all in, and managed to pull it off. Now, James Holzhauer, to his credit, managed to get that final daily double, had to go all in because he knew he was behind in game 1, and pulled it off. And it all came down to the way the tournament ended. Remember back in 2004, when Ken Jennings played his 75th game against Nancy Zerg. Ken had to get it right. Unfortunately, he didn't. It was the same thing that happened with James Holzhauer. He had to get it right. Unfortunately, James didn't. But that doesn't take away from how brutal and how awesome this tournament was. People are saying it's Jeopardy at its peak. I'm inclined to agree. It's the best Jeopardy has been, I'm going to say, ever since the Ultimate Tournament of Champions or the Decades Tournament. One of those two, and I'm leaning towards more Ultimate Tournament of Champions because all of the ace players from the 80s and 90s and 2000s, like Robin Carroll, Frank Spangenberg, Jerome Verret, who was third place in the Ultimate Tournament of Champions, they were ready to go. They were fresh. And it was just high-level Jeopardy play. I mean, everybody knew the forced bounce, but hardly any of them had the cojones, so to speak, to do what James was doing, and that's just essentially going all in. And I know I'm doing this a lot, so 15, 20. Okay, I owe James Holzhauer a quarter. But you gotta admit, ace play by 3 Ace Jeopardy players with ace categories, ace answer writing, all just leads up to a very ace show. It's on my DVR. More than likely, I am going to burn it. Actually, I am going to burn it to DVD and keep it as like a historical piece of how great Jeopardy can be. And what more needs to be said about this? Jeopardy is great. And I apologize when I was young and dumb for thinking Jeopardy was a bad show. Because it put me to sleep. Now I have other shows that do that. Best Ever Trivia Show put me to sleep. It's why I called it the worst game show of 2019 on the Game Show Newsnet Best and Worst of Everything show. Hopefully when that comes out soon. But just to summarize everything I said, I know I rambled. I mean, my thoughts aren't coherent, but how can they be coherent when something was this awesome and this amazing? I know it's probably on Hulu or some other streaming service. Netflix will probably air these 4 episodes soon. Do go check it out. Study these episodes because we got a test coming up, the Jeopardy test, January 28th, 29th, 30th. Study these shows, watch Jeopardy, and take the test. Hopefully, I will have the energy to do that. We're going to have some new episodes of Look at the Schedule coming up soon. Until next time, I am Cindy Seidelman. Bye-bye! And keep up fighting, Alex.